You know those books that don't show up in bestseller lists or get praised by crystal-wearing influencers? Yeah, this one wasn't forgotten by accident. It was buried, carefully, so no one would trip over it. Because unlike what you've been told, the mind isn't a sacred temple, it's a weapon. And this book? It's the instruction manual. And now, it's in your hands. They didn't want you to know you can shape reality without incense, Sanskrit mantras, or a $397 guru course. This book teaches what neither Harvard nor Hogwarts dared: how to project thoughts, influence people silently, and reprogram the universe using focus, repetition, and intention. And the weirdest part, it was never banned. It was quietly published in 1918, ignored until now. What looked like a mystical book was actually a mental warfare manual in disguise. The name is harmless. The content? Explosive. Stick around, and you'll find out why they really hid it from you for over a century. Spoiler, it wasn't for your safety. Most dangerous books in history were burned. This one was just quietly shelved, not because it lacked content, but because it had too much. The Secret Doctrine of the Rosicrucians wasn't censored with flames. It was buried with grace, like hiding a loaded weapon behind a decorative flower vase. The author used the most generic pseudonym ever, Magus Incognito. No bio, no fame, no followers. Maybe that's why it survived. It didn't threaten anyone, unless they actually read it. Beneath the spiritual surface was a tactical manual for mental operations. He didn't talk about faith. He talked about frequency. No angels, just mental waves. Most read it like poetic mysticism. A few decoded it. Commands, techniques, repetition. It was never meant to be understood by everyone, and that is where the game begins. While everyone else was busy worshiping symbols and chakras, this book dropped cold, clear instructions. It said the human mind is a forgotten tech, capable of reshaping the fabric of reality with thought, repetition, and focus. No mystery, just mechanics. The author states, thought shapes the ether, and the ether shapes matter. That's it. No metaphors. Just charts, diagrams, commands. To the right reader, it's not mysticism. It's vibrational engineering dressed in soft esoteric clothing to avoid suspicion. It's like hiding a missile inside a box of incense. The casual reader sees a Rosicrucian text, but the trained mind sees a blueprint. And a blueprint? It only works when someone decides to build. Imagine planting a thought in someone's mind, without saying a word. No ads, no speeches, just presence, focus, and repetition. Sounds like sci-fi? This book described it in 1918, before NLP, hypnotic marketing, or YouTube psychology hacks. It teaches that the mind emits waves, and those waves can influence nearby emotional and cognitive fields. Your thoughts are Wi-Fi, and yes, you can hack the router. Not with words, but with laser-focused intent, mental images, and emotional charge. The most disturbing part? It works better when no one notices. That's why the book insists on secrecy. Knowledge is dangerous because it works, and as it warns, the ignorant destroy what they don't understand. The wise stay silent to protect power. Why do some ideas disappear without being banned? Easy. Labeling something as nonsense is more effective than burning it. And that's exactly what happened here. The book wasn't outlawed. It was filed under spiritual fiction and dismissed. Safer that way. But guess who never stopped using it? The same people running ads, campaigns, and algorithms today. What used to be called vibrational emission is now emotional copywriting, consent engineering, narrative framing. Same tech, fancier names. This book was buried not because it failed, but because it worked too well. It taught things meant only for closed orders with oaths and tests. Now, in an age where anyone can stumble upon it, the risk shifts. Because if everyone knows how the game's rigged, they might just stop playing. The biggest threat to any system of control isn't rebellion, it's autonomy. This book gives you that. No priests, no gurus, no temples, Just you, your breath, your focus, and your will. You don't need permission, you need clarity. This is the real heresy, to break the spiritual monopoly, to reveal that sacredness is technical, not mystical, that you don't need to pray, just learn to repeat, breathe, emit, and calibrate. Done consistently, this restructures your inner world and your outer results. It's not faith, it's a system. That's why this book wasn't taught in popular esoteric schools or psychology departments. It hands you the key online without asking for obedience. It teaches operation, not adoration. And those who get that start rewriting their world. Silently, like someone who just found the glitch in the matrix. Now that you know this knowledge exists, and that it was buried because it works, the question is, what will you do with it? Let it slip by, like they always planned? Or use it to rewrite your story and stop being controlled without even noticing? Do you really need permission, approval, or some guru's blessing to start using your mind as a creative tool? Or maybe you just needed the right manual. Truth is, you don't need more promises, you need action. And that starts now. If this video sparked something inside you, subscribe, hit the bell, and share it with someone still stuck in the reality is fate mindset. Around here, we don't pray to the universe, we configure it.